All right, so this is session one of Gauntlet Con for me. This is Hearts of Wulin. This is a one-shot. I've named them each something different. So this is Black Gardens, which means nothing. Although I will try and maybe weave that in as a motif during the course of this. So welcome to Gauntlet Con. If you're watching this, that's what's going on. And if you're curious about what that is, you can check out that at gauntlet-rpg.com, where there are a ton of, it'll link you to the schedule, and there's probably going to be video links if you're watching this later on. There's a ton of stuff. So we're playing Hearts of Wulin, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse hack that I've written to emulate Chinese dramas, Chinese wushu dramas in particular. And I've mentioned Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon as my touchstone a couple of times and things, but it's really about these long-running wushu soap operas that appear on Chinese television, a lot of them based on novels that are made and remade and all of that. And I love them. They're complicated, they're crazy, and then you get fight sequences. When things build up too much, they have a release valve of a fight. So this is like a third hand thing. So I am a super white dude emulating a television series from China that are based on novels that are based on a fictional China. So we are going several steps down. My goal here is to really showcase my love for the genre and embrace those elements and be respectful of that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is very much a fictional China. It is based on dramatic logic and genre conventions. With that in mind, this is, as I mentioned, part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. So we use safety tools. So I know everybody here is familiar with the X card. That is on the table. That can go for anything from problematic content to tone issues, anything like that. And you can do that this way, or you can type it in the chat if you find something that you want to edit past. I may stop and ask you exactly what we're moving around, just to clarify that. But otherwise, there'll be no questions on that. It is a very light safety tool, but because we've got a short amount of time, I think it's the one that is easiest for us to work with here. So what we're going to be doing today, if you're watching, if you want to skip ahead, we're going to take the first hour to do our character creation, and then we're going to take a break, and then we're going to play out from a starting incident. Because this is a one-shot, I will probably be hard framing a little bit more than I would in a standard campaign, pushing people together, putting things in place, starting people out together, that kind of thing. When we get to the last, say, 30 minutes of the session, when I'm looking at that, that's the point at which I'm going to be pushing hard to get things together, to get things aligned so that we can get to some kind of resolution here. I will end the session 15 minutes before the hour so people can get ready and muster for their next game. So just be aware that I am watching the time on that. And also, so one of the things is that this game is in development, but this is a play game, not a play test game. So if you have questions, feedback, suggestions, things like that, I welcome it, but we won't do a debrief on it. But you're welcome to send me notes on it afterwards. I will certainly appreciate that. So let me just briefly, before we go to character creation, couple of genre conventions to reinforce here. People talk obliquely about matters of the heart. They have a hard time talking straightforwardly about that. That is a convention of this melodrama. All of you have duties, some obligations. You'll see there are agendas, player agendas that are listed with the playbooks, and a particularly unique one with the playbooks. And one of the things is about this kind of sincerity here. If someone's wearing disguise, people don't see through it, even if it's obvious to us watching at home. If somebody has a written document, oh, that must be true because it's written down. There are a lot of those very strange genre conventions that we go with. The last thing I want to say is we are following the sort of the light Crouching Tiger motif in that this is a world where people can do tremendous things. through their martial styles, or through herbalism, or through pressure points, but it is not necessarily a supernatural world. People believe in the supernatural, but we're not going to have ghosts or nine-tailed foxes or things on stage for this particular version. So Shane asked, give me an example of obliqueness. I'll point to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Those two main characters in that movie, they love each other, but they can't say it. And they talk around it, and everyone knows that they're in love. But when time comes for them to talk about it, instead they refer to her dead husband, who is his friend. That is what they refer back to. So feelings get talked about, get turned away. And the main sort of PbtA bit, and I've stolen from a ton of things. Borrowed. Monster Hearts is really the key in this, and the inner conflict move is the one that we'll find that we're hitting here. So we're going to go ahead and go to the spreadsheet here. I've got a tab on that has the basics of the process that we're going to be walking through. We're going to do the first 4 steps here, essentially figuring out your look and name, describing your style, assigning your stats, and choosing your playbook and figuring out what moves you want. What I want to do first is go through and let everybody tell me what they want to do playbook-wise. Each playbook is unique, and each playbook has 3 sort of role options that give you a starting move. For example, if we look at the aware, you could be the aware, but you could be a master, or you could be a scholar, or you could be a traveling sifu. There are sort of 3 options. Choose one of those. I have no problem if people do want to double up, as long as the 2 people negotiate. But generally, I'd expect people to each take a different playbook here. So Shane, you spoke first. So I see that between the unorthodox and the outsider, which one do you feel strongly about, or does somebody else feel strongly about one of those?
I was tossing that out there so that other people can put in their suggestions, and hopefully I can, if someone wants one of those, I can take the other one.
Anybody have a strong feeling? Tyler. Oh, Patrick, you were going to talk.
Yeah, I was looking at the outsider, actually.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's give you the outsider. Shane, why don't you take the unorthodox? Joshua, Tyler, either of you have a strong preference among the other 4? Or even questions about what those mean?
No strong preference.
Okay.
Perhaps, yeah, maybe the loyal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good, strong, classic character. So let's have you take the loyal. Tyler, that leaves you with 3 choices.
Let's see. Outsider wasn't taken, was it?
It was.
Oh, it was. Oh, shit. All right.
By that Patrick guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. I think that I'll take, let's do student.
Okay. All right. So now that you know that, what we're going to do is you're going to move through the standard sort of PbtA choices, the look and story. While you're doing that, I want to talk a little bit about what the stats mean, which are called chi in this, and why we're defining those things about our style. So this operates a little bit like Fate Accelerated in that you have approaches. Each of your chi kind of represents a way of doing things. When you roll, in most cases, you're going to choose which element you want to roll with, which one you think fits with the story, fits with the narrative. And you'll roll the 2d6 with that. Sometimes you'll take damage on a stat, which is what the checkbox is about. When a stat is marked, is checked, when chi is marked in that way, that means you can't roll with it. And it's the reason why you don't necessarily want to roll with your best stat all the time, because if you fail, and as my hard move, I have you mark that chi, then, that's your good chi that goes out. You will define your style. You come up with a name for it. you'll give it an element, and that element is which chi you're going to roll with. So one thing that is really set in this game is when you go to fight, you'll be rolling with your style element. And you will choose a set of weapons. What kind? I mean, everybody knows how to fight, with their bare hands, but many of these styles have a weapon element that is attached to them. I will point out that on the Factions and Names tab, I have a list of example style names, and I also have a list of example personal names. You can have a Wulin name, like I've got here, Ageless Sin or Coral Lantern. You can have that and a standard name, or you can just have a standard name. It's up to you how you want to do that. So I'm going to let people get rolling. And when you have a question, hit me up. And when I get a sense of where everybody is at, then we're in a good place. Then we'll roll into that next section.
I did have a question. Since I'm doing the unorthodox and I want to do accidental, how does that mix with style?
So in that case, you don't have a style name per se. You will have an element for it,
Okay.
But we don't have a name for it.
Cool. So for the other names, is that meant to be a whole name, or is it tack on like a male or first name and then that?
It's meant to be a whole name.
Okay.
A lot of people have a Wulin name is what we call it for that.
Mhm. Cool.
Okay, I'll give you about 5 more minutes, and then we'll kind of get started into introductions. And if there's something you haven't figured out, you can pick it on the fly. So don't worry about that. But I want to give you just a few more minutes.
What should we be doing for story, or are we going to just kind of like figure that out?
So what we're going to do next is we're going to do introductions, and I'll point people to look at the factions that are on there, and I'll talk a little about what those classifications mean. And then when we're done with that, then everybody's going to build their entanglements, and that'll get us our backstory a little bit. So I'll ask you some leading questions when we come to the intro, and we'll kind of tie some things together.
Cool.
All right, so let me talk a little bit about factions and what that means. And I'm gonna start with Patrick because he's done this before. So I'm making the veteran pay the price of this for starting with the intros. So you'll see that on that faction names tab, I have a list of factions. The Wulin world, the society of martial arts and stuff, kind of lives outside of the normal world, outside the mundane world. They have their own rivalries, tensions, and things like that. Somewhere off in the distance is the emperor, and maybe the emperor is pushing in some ways, but this is its sort of own world of politics and so on. And I've split them into righteous, orthodox, ambiguous, and unrighteous, unorthodox. And we can figure out what that means. It doesn't necessarily mean that a righteous group is a good group. It may be just that they are the most conventional, or it may be the one that hold themselves in the highest esteem. And the unrighteous, even though they're named 100 Ghosts, who knows? They might be good guys in actuality, but they have a bad reputation as being unrighteous or unorthodox. Ambiguous kind of falls somewhere in the middle. So when we do the introductions, what I'll try and do is tie you to one of these factions. You may have an idea about where you want to come from. We'll get those on the table and set those names up and get them into play because they're a good mover for events and so on. All right. Patrick, I am going to start with you. Please tell us about your character, Zephyr Fox.
Yeah, so I'm playing Zephyr Fox. Her sort of normal, boring name would be Huli. But she's an outsider. Trickster is the role I went with. There's a picture down at the bottom of the column, but very sort of foxy look, shadowed eyes, vulpine face, big toothy grin. Oh, that's not where that goes. That's story. But her clothes, she generally has like really brightly dyed clothes, but there's just like layer upon layer. She can pull off a coat or a robe, and there's just a completely different look underneath, sort of thing. Sorry, I can't talk and use a keyboard at the same time because my brain. Stat-wise, very good at water, very good at like awareness and flexibility. I'm sort of ignoring that it says wisdom in the middle there.
Sure.
And very bad at metal control calculation. She's good at patience, just not at caution or control. Uses a staff as a weapon. Water is the style element. Nine-tail breeze is her style, and it's that sort of like spinning flexible staff.
Oh, okay.
So when she has it going, it's sort of like that visual illusion of there are all these staves, and that sort of looks like tails flicking around her, sort of thing.
And the flexibility of the staff kind of represents the flexibility of water. Fits there. That makes sense. Okay, I like that. If you've seen Jet Li fight any movies with staff, you know, he bends with those attacks and so on. It's really, really fun. Okay. And tell us generally about your moves that you have. Just give us a little sense.
So my moves are basically centered around like I fit in / could be anywhere. I can look like I belong different places. I can pop up out of nowhere, and I can talk to pretty much anyone, and they'll listen to me for some reason, just because I have that sort of look.
So are you imagining that you are someone who started in a faction, or have just kind of learned this? How did you become a member of the Wulin?
I think like became a member of the Wulin just like she's become a member of or done anything else in her life, which was just by faking it. Like she's been a soldier, she's been a monk for a couple of years, she's worked as a scholar in courts, in like ale houses, studied in dojos, and it's all just like, oh, that's a new shiny thing over there. Let's see, if I put my hair like this and they seem to be wearing blue and walking like this, all right, I'm one of you now for a while, until that gets boring and there's a much more interesting looking traveling farrier or circus going through town or whatever, and she just sort of hops on with the next thing.
So how did she learn her style?
Was
she like, you know, did she pick it up on the way, or was she taught by her family in her youth before something happened to them, or have one of the factions taken you in and shown you a style? What do you think?
I think maybe that, because as much as her traveling, like I did want her to still be part of a faction and fit into the sort of Wulin world.
Faction?
I really like going with the unorthodox ones. I think it's the 100 Ghosts. I think somewhere along the way in one of the more like performative roles she was picking up, maybe a traveling like troupe or something courtly, there was someone else that sort of picked up on her, definitely picked up on her not being who she said she was, but her sort of like ability to hide in and slip in and play different lives. And I think it's a secret faction that works like that sort of inserts themselves into places they're not supposed to be, follows shadowy objectives, and anybody that knows about them assumes that they're evil or unrighteous just because they're liars and infiltrators.
Okay, so kind of hides below the surface. You know, people don't have a great image of them, but they might not necessarily be as evil or as villainous as people think they.
And I think the staff style comes from that because, like, especially a thin, flexible staff, it's something that's like very not threatening that you could carry into a lot of situations. You can use it as a tool of, or like hide it as a tool of work, things like that. It's a weapon that you don't need to worry about no matter what role you're playing.
And she's still pretty young, or is she a little bit older?
I think like late 20s, so still pretty young, but she's been doing this for a decade or more.
Okay. Okay, I think that gives me enough to work with. We're going to be coming back around to entanglements, which are on the entanglement page,
Cool.
and we'll take a look at that. So next, Shane, why don't you tell us about your character?
All right. So, Daughter of Stone and Sorrows, real name Lu Jian. So her look is she has like porcelain skin, kind of long and flowing locks. I'm trying to decide whether actual kind of jet black hair or white. Kind of an open face with kind of hopeful eyes, relaxed, unassuming. I'm seeing her as, I think she doesn't really know well where she came from. I think she's looking to figure that out. She doesn't know why she's able to do the things that she does. She does them because they seem to kind of propel her through life, but she is curious as to find out why she's able to do these things. I think she's fairly kind of itinerant. I think she kind of moves through life as, I should say, she's moved through life, I think, as opposed to moving through life herself, or at least she feels that way. That kind of like going along on the waves of whatever is happening, and she just kind of like follows suit. And since I took the accidental role, so she's just able to do things with what is at hand, and things just kind of like come to hand when necessary.
So sort of an anything goes, picking up implements, that kind of thing, and they just happen to work.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think that she doesn't. I think it's rare that she instigates any kind of fight. I think she's much more reactionary. I think she may get herself into situations where she gets people angry or something along those lines, but she's never the one to kind of like instigate it. And so I think because she's just reacting, she just kind of like, they come at her and she just kind of like grabs things and kind of like does the thing.
That is perfect. And you have the his name is nobody move, which really fits with that quite well. The walking in sort of unaware. And then you've got the spotting trouble move there, the taste of cold steel.
Yeah, I think she's learned a little bit enough. I think she's able to kind of get a read on other people, but not kind of like situations so much. And I don't know that it's. I think it's more not. Again, it's this kind of like luck. She just seems to be able to read people well, more so than kind of something that she's been trained to do or trained herself to do. Or then again, maybe she has been and she just doesn't know it.
If she isn't like an obvious member of the Wulin, what role does she play? How does she present herself in the world?
That's a good question.
Certainly, you could be associated with one of the factions in some sort of associate or servant or some other role attached to one of them.
I think. I mean, since she wants to, I think, travel a lot, maybe there's some sort of way of being some sort of kind of messenger or whatnot for one of the factions.
Okay.
Or ambassador even, but probably more messenger.
Then that actually, do you mind, the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau, they are, I mean, the escort bureaus in China are essentially people who protect caravans and help things be moved from place to place. So that might be a good faction to be associated with.
Sure. Why not?
And do you think that the Ox Pilgrims, do you think they view you as a simple messenger, or is there some suspicion that you might be more than that?
I think there might be some view that I'm more than that, but no one, like, they don't understand me and how I'm able to do things that I do, especially since, like, I say I've never been trained or whatever. But I think there might be some kind of suspicion about that.
Excellent. All right. Thank you much. That gives us info. We're going to come back and do entanglements here in a little bit after we get everybody else introduced, which brings us to Josh. Can you tell us about Nine Blossoms?
Sure, yeah. So Nine Blossoms' real name is Bao. He is a loyal. I chose the specialization, I guess, swordsman. He has tanned skin, close cropped hair, stony eyes, rounded features, and a stern smile. So I picture this guy as pretty serious kind of a person. He takes promises seriously. I was actually just copying over Rage of the Tiger for one of the moves.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So his fighting style is sun and moon serpent sword. Sun and moon serpent sword.
Okay.
He fights with the jian, which is like a straight sword.
Mm-hmm. Classic, a little bit flexible, but
yeah.
Strong, sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of imagine it with like one of those one of the tassels on the bottom, and kind of like moving it in like certain like serpentine kind of motions.
So a style that really has some careful, sinuous patterns to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like very careful and controlled patterns that kind of like mimic this kind of snake-like back and forth kind of pattern.
And the loyal swordsman mean that you're going to have a second wounded box, which because the way the sheet is set up, you'll have to figure out how you want to mark the first wounded box there.
Okay.
But what have you chosen for your two moves?
Okay, so my two moves are Heaven's Sword and Dragon's Saber, which, let's go over to the playbooks because I didn't copy the text yet.
Sure.
So you possess a legendary blade which can be recognized wherever you go. +1 to when you deal with mooks or when you impress someone from the martial world. So I'm hoping that that causes some trouble.
So what is this legendary sword? Is it a lost object? Is it an artifact of a clan? Is it something recently made? What do you think it is?
I think it's probably like a sword that was made famous in a battle, probably from an ancestor, like somebody in my clan, and I got it somehow.
What is it called?
Ooh, good question. My first instinct is to just kind of name it after the style, but I think that's it's a kind of a cop-out. How about shining sunset or shining dusk or something?
Shining Dusk. Okay.
Yeah.
And which faction do you want to be associated with? Who you're a loyal, so which faction do you serve? We've got a couple that are already on the table. I don't know if you want to go with one of those or associate with another one.
Maybe the Yun clan. I actually kind of like that. So like loyal to the this clan that has been kind of is like far from their height of power.
So they've been have they been wiped out, or are they just strongly reduced?
I think just strongly reduced. I don't think they're wiped out.
And is that a recent thing?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, and that fits with why you'd have the Rage of the Tiger move. That seems appropriate there. We'll have to figure out exactly how you got destroyed there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to move on to Tyler. Tyler, tell us about your character Jin.
Alrighty. Jin is excuse me. She is a young girl. She's probably about 16. The long ponytail, quick smile, and sparkling eyes. Thin and pretty in a tomboyish sort of way. Wears loose-fitting pants and a flowered embroidered tunics. And she is a student. Younger sibling is what I took from that. I took her style name as Thousand Pricks, which comes off of fire, which she uses paired knives for. And I sort of envision it as a jump in, quick hit, jump out, and lots of dodges around big blows as strikes very quickly.
If this was a manga or an anime, we'd see like all of these knives in the air, like Fist of the North Star kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, I like that.
And my moves I took were younger sibling, which is I gain +2 instead of +1 when I burn a bond. And Savior of the Soul. I'm inexperienced, but somehow alone. I have the voice of reason here. Gives a +1 ongoing during attempts to bail them out. And Smiling Proud Warrior. I'm just here to have an adventure. And once per scene, I can ask a question from study without rolling.
So you're a younger sibling. What faction do you want to be associated with? We've got a few on the table.
I was thinking Purity Sword Sect, and I may have accidentally put that in Bao's story line. If I did, I'm so sorry, Josh.
Oh. And what is the nature of Purity Sword Sect?
My thought there is that they are purity of soul as well as weapon, that kind of that idea of you have to strike with purpose but also with virtue sort of concept.
I like that. So you're a younger sibling. Tell me about that. Is there just an older sibling, or are you the youngest of many? How do you imagine?
I think I'm the youngest of quite a few, and all the rest of them are boys.
Okay.
And I don't know, is that supposed to be set up as one of the party, or should it not be?
We'll figure that out in Entanglements. We can work that out. So tell me, with that, how did you learn your style? Is this a style that in Purity Sword Sect, this sort of non-sword style that's taught? Is it taught to certain people, like the people who aren't going to be, the higher echelon, or is this something that your mother taught you, or was there some other way that you learned?
I think that I probably picked it up as my brothers were studying and I was watching them.
Okay. All right. And fire is your main stat, which is a good one. Creativity. All right. What we're going to do now is we are going to go to entanglements. Entanglements are your personal connections to NPCs or to PCs. Each of you is going to pick a romantic entanglement and a general entanglement. And you can see that on the entanglements tab. I have curated a set of suggested entanglements that work for the different playbooks. But if none of those appeal to you, you can look at the bigger list that is off to the right-hand side. What we're going to do is we're going to go and have everybody do one of the two and then the other of the two. At minimum, I would like you to have a PC in at least one of those 4 slots, because each of these entanglements is a triangle. So at least once we should have a PC wrapped in there. And of course, we'll check in with them to make sure that fits with their ideas. So Patrick, you know the entanglement, you know how they work. What do you want to do first? Do you want to do your general or your romantic?
I think general.
Okay. And what do you want for that?
So this ties into the 100 ghosts and the like unexpected, unknowable situations they put their members in, and like weird orders that they give them. But I took part, probably definitely accidentally, in a crime against blank, my friend blank's sibling.
Okay.
So I was part of a crime against one of your siblings.
Who do you want to have that with? I can see several possibilities here.
I think maybe Nine Blossoms. Do you think you have a sibling?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. All right. And let's get a name for that sibling.
Ooh. Do you want Patrick to decide or me?
Propose a name here.
Okay.
What about 7th century Chaozu? Very number-oriented family.
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
So let me ask you this then. So we now know that you're a friend of Nine Blossoms, and we know that you're kind of keeping a secret from her that you were involved in a crime against her sibling, brother, about his sibling, brother or sister.
Let's say brother.
Okay. Against the brother, and because we want to have this character on stage, obviously didn't kill him. But we know the young clan was set upon. So what did you do? What happened there?
Oh crap! Oh wow. Yeah, I think there was definitely some like key piece of strategic information that I ended up being a part of stealing that was part of their downfall.
All right. So yeah. So the family maybe knows that 7th century Chaozu failed them and gave away vital information that led to the downfall of the Yun clan, and you were involved in that. Even though Nine Blossoms is a good friend of yours. Okay. Awesome. I like that. So I'm going to move on. Shane, do you want to do your general or your romantic?
I think. Ooh. I'll go with romantic, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go with I still pursue blank, who rejected me despite the interference of blank, who holds an unrequited love. Well, let's see here. Someone want to be the person who rejected me or the person who holds an unrequited love of the person I pursue?
Ooh.
Or do we want one of each?
I'm good. Are you imagining that? Well, let's see. What What PC did amongst the characters have been described so far do you think is you want to entangle with?
I think, let's see here. I think I really am interested in Zephyr Fox.
Okay. So you still pursue Zephyr Fox.
Sure.
Even though she rejected you. You know, and who is it? Who is this third party who has an unrequited love either for her or for you?
Oh, interesting.
You can put in an NPC, or you can drag in another PC and see if they're cool with that.
Ooh. Is there someone who wants to have an unrequited love with either I or Zephyr Fox?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
I think with you, if that's cool
Sure.
with you.
That is totally fine.
Okay. So Jin, you hate that she still pines for Zephyr Fox, and you just try to get in the way of that. Try to cause problems there. Awesome. That won't come back to bite you. All right. Let's come to Joshua. Do you want to do your romantic or your general?
Let's do romantic.
Okay. So what do you want for your romantic?
I think I love blank, but I've sworn revenge against their family member blank.
Ooh. And who would that be?
I think
I mean, for my money, Zephyr Fox is the one that you need to be in love with. And then you need to be swearing revenge against another one of those 100 ghosts.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, it sort of sounds like it would be my master, probably.
Ooh, and who's your master? Now you're like, I didn't want to choose another name. Dimple.
Stupid names.
Thanks.
So I've got a big list.
It's got to be the best name on there. Sour Sadness.
Sour Sadness Bear. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Love it.
So you know that Sour Sadness Bear was key and instrumental in doing this thing to your brother, and now we know maybe that you kind of know that Zephyr Fox might be involved with a sinister clan. You probably haven't told her that you know, but you do love her, and that complicates things. All right. Let's bring it around to Tyler. Tyler, romantic or general?
Let's go ahead and get this romantic out of the way, I think. I love, and I think that's probably going to be Luxon, daughter of Stone and Sorrows. But my teacher, I think I'm going with Unsmiling Lou, killed someone dear to them.
Ooh. Who did they kill?
That is a very good question. Let me think.
Sibling, teacher, parent. Twin.
How about maybe I don't know it, but a former love or love interest?
Okay.
Does that work?
Sure. What's their name?
To the factions and names panel. Where is it? There's a good one. Let's say Dawning Rose.
Dawning Rose. So your master, Jin, killed a sort of a more senior person amongst the Ox Pilgrim, and there's that whole thing, and you don't want all of that to come out. You know that is an issue that will rear its head. So let's swing back to Patrick. Patrick, you did your general. Let's come to your romantic.
So let's just like lean in and make this mess even more complicated. So I fled from Nine Blossoms because of the heartache when I realized what my actions had caused. But Blank, their betrothed, has called me back to honor a debt.
Ooh.
So I'm curious, Nine Blossoms, like who you're promised to marry, and like was that your idea or a clan or a parent's idea or what?
I mean, it's gotta be like a clan idea, right? Like we gotta rebuild the clan.
So maybe from Purity Sword, somebody from Purity Sword, or Ox Pilgrim.
Somebody from Purity Sword, I think.
Okay. Do you want that to be Jin, or should we put another NPC on the table?
I think that's up to Jin.
Jin, what do you think of being engaged?
Wow, I'm awfully young for that.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's an older sibling. Yeah, maybe it's an older sibling. Or something.
Okay, so like one of Jin's family members.
Yeah.
Jin, do you want to give me a name?
Sure. Let's see. So this would be one of my brothers.
Sure. Well,
it'd be.
It's up to you how you want to define the gender relationships in this.
Yeah. What do you think? That'd be up to you, Josh. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. One of your brothers sounds fine.
Yeah.
All right.
It is a more progressive Wulin world. I like it.
Tao.
Okay. So you fled from Nine Blossoms, betrothed there. Okay.
This is getting so confusing.
Yeah.
How do you keep this all sorted, lol?
I have a little. No, I'll show you here. These are my notes. All right, so far.
just a few notes.
Just a few notes. All right. And that. Let me just make a note here. Jin's sibling. When I do this at the table, I have whiteboards that I'll write everything down on. So let's come. Patrick did that. So Shane, what's your general one?
Let me see. Where was it? Right. I think I'm going to go with my sibling Blank and I were separated at birth, and Blank raised them to destroy my clan.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think we already have one kind of like master person. Might make sense to make them the one. Maybe Unsmiling Lou?
Ooh. What do you think, Tyler?
As the person who trained my sibling to destroy my clan?
Oh, yeah. And in that case, then your sibling Tao.
Oh, look at you.
And you were separated at birth.
I approve this.
There we go. Reincorporation. All right. Awesome. That brings us around to Nine Blossoms. You did your romantic. Let's figure out your general.
Geez, I still have to pick something. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I swore to protect, or I swore to blank that I would protect blank, but they would be offended if they knew. I think
Okay.
I want to go with that one.
Who did you swear to protect, and
to whom did I swear it?
Yeah. I'd be glad to give you a push.
Let's see. Ugh, there's too much stuff going on. Yeah, I need some help.
Sure. How about you swore to Tao?
Okay.
That you would protect his younger sister, Jin.
Perfect. Yeah. It's right in front of my nose. I didn't even see it.
All right. And that brings us back to Tyler.
All right. I think I humiliated myself in front of. That's going to hit with Luxan again, I guess.
It's up to you.
I think so. Who I desire, and 9 Blossoms will let no one forget it. Does that sound good?
I just want to point out this is going to be fantastic because we don't know it, but we're siblings. Due to how things are working out.
Well, yeah, but not by blood.
Right.
Well, I guess because my sibling Tao and I were separated at birth.
Right. And I assume then that Tao was integrated into this family by Unsmiling Lu, was brought in.
Right, but Tao was their betrothed.
Yeah.
No, betrothed and Jin's brother.
So 9 Blossoms, Tao's sibling. So they're separated from birth. And brought
he's probably my adopted.
Yeah, he's your adopted brother. He's actual blood relation to Daughter of Stone and Sorrows.
Okay.
Ooh, that's complicated. Lola, do I have enough of a piece or an NPC in there with just Unsmiling Lu? Is that fit well?
Yeah. Gives you some double pushes there. All right. Okay, let me make sure I've got all of these newly named NPCs down on my little list here. Okay. All right, we got a bunch of entanglements. We are now going to take a 5 or 10 minute break so that I can look at this and I can spin us into something when I come back. And so grab your beverages. We will take another break later on, but this is our first break here.
So even for Hearts of Wulin, that got twisty real fast.
Really, really, really twisty.
Yeah, that's wild, and it's neat that there is this through thread. Wow.
Hold that up again.
Hold on, let me see it again. Jeez. I don't even.
Wow.
Wow. I wonder if that graph is planar. Probably not. Most definitely not. Okay.
You're muted, Lowell.
Definitely not a dag.
Yeah, definitely
I
not.
know Sherry wasn't on the game, so someone had to.
Yep. So here is the situation that we are in right now. A couple of weeks ago, one of the senior members of the Purity Sword sect passed away in somewhat the rumors about his death. That there may have been some plot or something going on, but his name was Ancient Shen, and Ancient Shen passed away, and the Purity Sword sect seniors went and found that he had left behind a legacy, essentially a puzzle box, and yeah, I'll do that in a sec. And this puzzle box, people are not sure what's in it, but there are rumors. It is known that Ancient Shen was considered perhaps the spy master amongst the Purity Sword sect, and that's created some rumors about that. But here is the situation: is that they've been asked in his legacy to have a tournament, a demonstration with several notes about how it's to be carried out, and whoever wins that tournament will be given the puzzle box. And so where we start out, this is that each of you are coming for different reasons, or are here already for different reasons. Obviously, Jin, this is your family that is carrying this out. And Nine Blossoms, you are to be wed into this family. So this is an important chance for you to demonstrate to your future husband that situation. And Zephyr Fox, though you do not wish to do this, because of all of the heartache that you know it's going to cause you, you know that Sour Sadness Bear has assigned you, has sent you a message and told you to come to meet him here, that it is important because who knows what secrets might lie inside this puzzle box. And then most importantly, Daughter of Storm and Sorrows, you are one of a number of Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau messengers who were sent out. Like a whole swath of them were sent. And what you have heard is that one of these messengers carries the instructions for how to open the puzzle box, that those were sent off to the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau, and now those instructions are being brought here to the city for this tournament and so on. So we're actually going to take up with you arriving on the outskirts of the city. There's that sort of the classic way station tavern that we would see there. And since Jin, you and Nine Blossoms know each other, and you're also familiar with a Daughter of Stone and Sorrow, you would have made arrangements to meet her here, despite maybe some of the pain stuff, but it's kind of an obligation that the two of you feel to meet her here and then to help her find her way into the city to the Purity Sword sect estate. And as happens in these kinds of genre films, you two come in and you will see that a Daughter is already in there, and give greetings, and the camera pans upstairs, and that's the time that we will actually see Zephyr Fox sort of up on the upper level, looking down and seeing people that she knows there, clearly coming together to meet. So Zephyr, let me start with you. You know them. You've kind of complicated relationships with some of them. You're at this tavern outside of town. There are a number of people here. So what would you do? Do you approach them, or is that just too much for you?
So just real quick, Jin was part of Purity Sword Sect.
Yes. Oh, and as Patrick pointed out, under your bonds, which are an expendable resource for +1, you should put your faction on one of those lines by faction, and then choose one of your fellow PCs to put a bond with there. And when we get to rolls, I'll talk about how that functions.
So I imagine there are probably a number of Purity Sword Sect members about.
No, not around here, surprisingly. I mean, this is outside of the town. This is on the way. So not a lot of Purity Sword people here.
Are there a lot of like Wuxia people here? Or is it mostly just normal people?
Does that sound to me like you're making a study move?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Then why don't you choose what you want to roll with, and we'll go ahead and do that.
So I think this would normally be like awareness, but I think that sort of careful, controlled study is waylaid by all the people that are down there and all the emotional turmoil. But I think this is more going to be patience. So I'm going to go with wood.
Okay, well, let's have you roll there.
Managing to make herself sit still for long enough to actually look around rather than just diving in. Let's see. Boom. Well, that's a 7.
That is a 7. So you get 1 hold off of the study move here. And again, the study move allows you to ask a question about a situation, ask a question about a person, or declare a major plot-changing detail.
So I was called in by Sour Sadness Baron. I know this has something to do with Tau and the Purity Sword, so I expected a lot of them to be around.
Yes,
but looking around, like what faction, what clan do I see that it's actually more weighted towards in here?
As you kind of look around, and you will realize that up here on this upper floor, downstairs in the lower floor, there are people that look like, peasants and farmers and that kind of thing, but they've got implements by them. They've got swords, and it looks to you like this is some kind of ambush here. Like there are these bandits. I mean, they're exchanging knowing glances at one another when they see a daughter come in. Like that's who they were waiting for. And there are a couple of mobs of mooks that are there, and there's up here on your level, you will see that there is at least one person that their bearing, their stance says to you they're one of the leaders of this group here. Yeah, you don't know. They don't seem to have an obvious faction,
but they all seem to be together,
like a gang. Yeah.
Then just as like I'm looking around and starting to realize that, I'm gonna flag a waitress as she's going by and say, "Excuse me, I have several friends coming, and if I could go ahead and get some tea made up, I think 3 pots of boiling hot, scalding, if you will."
Runs off to go and get that for you. So, daughter, when you knew you were meeting with Nine Blossoms and Jin, were you excited or anxious, or what was your feeling about that?
I think definitely both anxious and excited.
Okay.
I think I still don't know, or I don't know why. Zephyr Fox has rejected me, and so I'm still trying to figure that out, and I still want to engage her about that.
Yeah, and here's Jin, who is one of the people who it's maybe kind of gotten in the way of that for you on repeated occasions.
My question is, and this is probably for Jin, is was your interference like subtle, or was it like overt?
I imagine that I tried to get in the way,
Okay.
you know, not telegraphing it, but obviously noticeable to you.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think the excitement was to see Zephyr Fox, and the anxiety was seeing Jin.
That makes sense for me. And Nine Blossoms, Jin, you see your compatriot daughter comes in, and you know, you can call her over to your table. The owner has brought out food for you, rice and some wine, and set things up here for you.
If I may, can I use my free study from my move?
Absolutely. Now, since you've kind of now, you know, daughter's arrived, you know that she's a messenger. What is it that you want to know?
I'm kind of wanting to, seeing daughter there, I'm kind of wanting to read like her intentions, I suppose, or see if she's glad to see me. Probably is the more direct thing.
Sure. So what is the, okay, let's phrase that as a question for.
All right. Is daughter happy that she sees me and as excited as I am?
Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I think she has difficulty concealing these type of things. So she is trying to look pleasant and trying to look like it's nice to see you, but you can totally read like she is much more interested in Zephyr being here, and is, if anything, going to put up with you being here.
So I think probably when I see you, I'll have perked up and maybe even look like I'm rising to come over and like embrace you, and then sort of slink back to my chair.
And let me ask, Nine Blossoms, you know, daughter comes in, and while she does greet you, I think we've established in the fiction that she realizes that Zephyr Fox is there, has kind of looked up and maybe seen Zephyr Fox on the upper level. And so when she comes in, she suddenly looks distracted, like she's not paying as much attention to the two of you. What's your reaction to that, Nine Blossoms?
I think my reaction to that would be to just like approach daughter and say like what's troubling you?
Whoa, direct.
Yeah, very direct.
Let's see here. Do I have any? I don't have any interactions with you. Okay, I'm trying to see what my connections with Nine Blossoms is right now.
Yeah, no, I think you know Nine Blossoms, but you're not as entangled with his complicated life.
It is very nice to see you. I'm just very excited about what is going on here, about this tournament. It seems as though I'm very curious as to what is in this box. I think there could be many questions answered by what is inside this. And I see that a couple of our other compatriots are here as well. Have you noticed that Zephyr Fox is here?
Oh.
I think I say. I think I look around and I say I have not noticed, and like kind of as I like the last noticed, it's like look up and see her. There are many secrets that could be uncovered by this box.
Are you someone looking for answers as well?
Everyone looks for answers. It is human nature.
This is true.
And as you're talking, we see in the background, we can see the pots of boiling water being delivered to Zephyr. And you're down there, and in the background, we can maybe see some of the staff and waiters kind of fading off, getting out of the way. We see things getting moved, and there will be though it is the height of summer, there will be this cold breeze that pours in. And you will see darken the doorway this woman in these kind of white blue robes with kind of a fur trim, and she has this long tight ponytail, and the hair starts as white and then goes gray, silver, and then goes to black there. And she walks in, and the room kind of goes electric, like this is clearly a signal. And she takes that kind of stance where her eyes are purely for Daughter of Stone and Sorrows. And Zephyr, up on the second floor, you see that named lieutenant and those mooks begin to move.
Yeah, I think like when all three of them downstairs had looked up and like the camera focused on Zephyr Fox again, she was in like a different outfit. Like she had a nice like silken sort of traveling coat over things, but she's just like finishing bundling that up and throwing it in a pack. And now it's much more like rough spun, sort of worn robes underneath that are like a dull color, except for like this bright indigo dyeing around the sleeves. And she sort of like readjusted herself, her stance, and when those like mooks start to get up, she's just starts standing up with them and sort of moves to the back of the pack, carrying that tray with those tea jugs, but just trying to blend in with them and move as part of them.
Sure. I don't think we necessarily need to roll for that. I think that's as part of your abilities. So I don't think we need to test on that. It seems like dramatically logical for you to be able to do that. You three are downstairs, and definitely you feel the atmosphere in the room change. And then, Daughter, you will hear this hook, and this figure will drop down from the second floor, and he goes to grab for essentially the traveling case that you have with you, the message bag, and is making to snatch that away from you, as perhaps your attention is drawn by this figure in the doorway. Daughter, what do you want to do?
I think I probably just react very like subconsciously and just kind of like smack him in the face with it.
Okay. So essentially we'll square up that you will move to engage him. Let's figure out the rest of the setup here.
Yeah.
Let's Nine Blossoms. This figure jumps down, and you will see Daughter engage, but you also see that there are bandits rising up in the room, some coming down the stairs, and this person in the doorway is clearly a powerful Wulin. What do you want to do, Nine Blossoms?
I want to draw my sword and walk towards, just walk slowly, or maybe not slowly, but definitely not quickly, just towards the stairs, towards the bottom of the stairs where the rest of the mooks are coming down.
Okay. So you move over to block this group of malcontents from making their way down. And Jin, what about you?
I think as soon as I see daughter, being jumped on, I'll sort of leapfrog up from my chair and dive down towards the ankle of the guy that came at her and try and probably bite his ankle.
Okay. Well, so what we're going to do here is the way that we do this is we're going to break off. We've got a couple of groups that are unengaged and that are going to be free to cause problems. The woman in the doorway and one of these other moot groups. So I think we're going to start with Daughter Bird, Daughter of Stone and Sorrows. This figure is on your scale. It's a Wulin. So you're going to be rolling with your style element, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And it is a named foe.
Okay. So I will get a +1 because I do that anytime I first meet a named foe.
Yes.
So let me roll some dice here. 2d6, and I'll also give myself these. And all right, let's see how we do. Not so much.
So what did you get?
I got a 5. Oh no, wait, hold on. I might have gotten a 7. Hold on,
Okay.
because let's go to my actual character here. I think I have a +2 in fire. I do. So that would be a 7. Yes.
Okay. So with a 7, when you engage this warrior, Bonecracker Non, one of these bandits, you roll at 7. So you're going to get to describe what you do, and you're going to have a choice here. You can win at a cost. You can lose and mark XP. Or you can deadlock with them and you tie up, and you can learn something about them. What would you like?
I think I'd like to go with win with the cost.
Okay.
If I could suggest a cost.
Sure, absolutely.
I think maybe the case that I use ends up kind of like smashing and shattering when I use it.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to. I will let you decide whatever A is in it and B whatever happens to it.
Oh yeah, I think when you smash it, I think there's definitely a scroll that goes flying up into the air in slow motion, kind of unfolding there. Obviously, everyone kind of looks up at that. But tell me, what happens to Bonecracker Non? How does he get knocked flat?
I think he comes up behind me and kind of like grabs at it, and I'm holding it, but I probably kind of I notice it and I just kind of like smack back very hard. And I think that kind of like shocks him. And then I kind of like turn around and see that he's kind of menacing. And I probably just kind of like continue just like kind of like smacking him like.
And it looks to all appearances that you're just kind of, waving this at him, but you're hitting his cheek points and he's falling back, and he will come crash. Big guy will come crashing to the floor there. So you were close by, Jin. So let me ask you what you want to do, and then we'll resolve the mooks and Nine Blossoms, and then see about Zephyr.
I think that since I had kind of leapt over there and was wrapped around his ankle over, I think that we see it clearly. I wouldn't do something so dirty on purpose,
right?
But I think I scramble, and as I do, there's me leaping up, and I trod rather heavily on his nethers as I'm trying to scramble back up. So I'm putting the boot in.
Okay. He's already out, so I don't think you even need to roll for that. But we do see you cinematically. He may be doing that bit where he's going to get up, and then you step, and he and crashes backwards. I think that I'm going to have you actually roll an overcome, because there are these minions here, this mob of mooks on this first floor that haven't been dealt with, and they're clearly going to try and get you off of him.
Okay.
So let's have you roll overcome.
So I should decide what I'm rolling with.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Essentially, you want to avoid them kind of knocking you to the ground or pushing you back out of the way.
How about probably something like the awareness of noticing they're coming? So water, maybe?
That seems perfect. Let's have you roll.
Okey-doke. That's a 6. That's a 7.
That is a 7. So you can stay in place and not get essentially thrown back by those mooks. But I think I'm going to have you mark water.
Okay.
And when you mark a chi stat like that, my thought is that either you kind of lean into that state or lean away, which is why those red things are in there. So I imagine that there's a bit of chaos and confusion there for you.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is I don't understand what's happening here.
Let's come over to Nine Blossoms. This group of mooks is moving down the stairs with deliberation, and you're stepping up to them. What is it that you want to do?
I think I take a very like purposeful stance, and kind of wait until they're almost at me, and I want to kind of weave in and out between them, kind of like slashing around and kind of showing off, I guess, my style, taking on this group of people.
Perfect. Serpentine sort of moving around in there. This is you fighting mooks. So go ahead and roll with your style element.
Okay. Uh, 5 plus 2, and just double check my +1 when I deal with mooks. That's deal with mooks.
Okay. So tell me what that looks like. You don't do it easily. It doesn't look like super awesome, because the stairs are give you a little bit of a problem there. But what happens to them? Are they getting hit? Are you just knocking them around? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think maybe it's like the stairs are like a little bit more close quarters maybe than I was thinking. Like it really kind of funnels them in, so it's less like lethal blows and stuff, and just kind of more knocking them around. Maybe one of them kind of like tumbles off of the railing or something.
And I assume the perfect cinematic thing would be for you to stop your blade when you get to the back of the group, and there's Zephyr. Zephyr, you will see as you're kind of coming down with this group, that Nine Blossom cuts a swath through it. Below, you will see this guy who jumped down, who was up here, is on the ground. There are a bunch of mooks kind of surrounding Jin. And of course, that poor daughter still, she doesn't really know martial arts. Plus, you will see that scroll is slow motion. Of course, it's one of these movies, so it's been up in the air for like 5 minutes at this point. But you will see that woman in the doorway is certainly leaping over to get a hold of that. What do you want to do?
So I think I was just getting ready to take care of these mooks because they're just mooks, and then they all just fell down unexpectedly in front of me, and oh shit, there's Nine Blossoms. But I almost say something to him, and then I hear the scrambling from Jin and the mooks over in the corner, and I just turn and take the very welcome opportunity to be distracted, as I'm gonna toss that tray of teapots up into the air. And as they come down, I've got my staff come out and spinning and just hit, knock 3 of them across the room to explode like boiling tea on the foreheads of 3 of those mooks that are coming in at Jin.
Okay.
Try and take out the crowd of them with steaming tea.
All right. Let's have you roll fight mooks.
That's going to be style, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's a 5.
Okay. So you've got a choice here. They can, essentially, some of these mooks regroup and they're going to overwhelm you, and you're going to have to retreat, or you can win at a cost.
I think it probably works like 2/3 of the way. Like 2 of the teapots go flying and one of them just breaks here over us.
So it is humiliating. It is absolutely humiliating for you as you do that last hit, and you're like, yes, and it just comes down on you. That
Also very hot.
And of course, it's tea leaves in the bottom, so you're covered with the mess of the tea leaves there. On the soundtrack, we hear a womp 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 sound there when that happens. And of course, part of the thing is you did that right in front of 9 blossoms. So could I have you roll inner conflict?
Yeah, I'll just flick my hair out of the way and it'll be super cool and we'll laugh and it'll be a great joke. I'm gonna roll with fire. Let's get out of this real quick, right? It's an 8, 9.
9. So you have a choice. You can either mark fire and kind of hold yourself steady, or you can have to retreat.
I'll mark fire as I turn to him and do what I obviously think is like a super cool hair flip back to get this tea-soaked hair out of my way, but it just slaps around to the other side of my face.
And the other thing is, because this is a one-shot thing, the good news is you get to mark XP for that fail. So we're going to come back to Daughter. As you have knocked this person down, you see that the mooks go, they come pouring back from this boiling hot liquid, kind of clearing the path around Jin. But you'll hear a whoosh, and you will see this woman kind of flies over the room and grabs it. Of course, when she lands, it's all rolled up, and she has it, and you see her looking to make her escape with this. What do you want to do?
I am definitely going to attempt to get that back from her.
Okay. So let's have you roll.
Okay.
This is a foe who is above your scale.
Okay. All right. Let me find. All right. Rolling. All right. Come on. Select. Well, no. Let's see here. 5. I guess it's a 7.
It is a 7.
Yeah.
So you're going to roll. Well, actually, I'm replacing the take a powerful blow thing. So you're going to mark the chi.
Okay.
That you roll with, or you can mark wounded. Up to you.
Interesting.
So you have a choice of closing off your style and not being able to fight anymore, or marking wounded and taking an ongoing penalty.
Oof. Oh, man. I guess I will take... I'll take the wounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go at her, and to everybody else, it just looks like you are kind of wildly heading over there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you get over there, she, her hands come out with that, and you will feel her hit, and you'll feel this sort of cold run up your body as she hits some of your vital points, and you'll kind of stagger back, and you realize that this is someone who is significant. Like, you alone can't take this person out. It's going to require evening the scale through some sort of method or team up or something like that. And what do we see? How do you react to that? What do we see on screen from you?
I think there's definitely kind of like a look of shock as it happens, and I think there's that kind of crumbling inward, kind of maybe even kind of like falling to her knees, kind of down. And I think we kind of see her, and even though she has she has this porcelain skin, but I feel like we start to see kind of that getting a little bit pallid, that kind of draining of the blood, because I feel like there's now this for that ongoing. I feel like there's now this kind of like coldness that is inside her that she's having to kind of like deal with.
Absolutely. And even though it doesn't make any sense, I'm sure we see your breath.
Yes.
Well as a visual detail.
Perfect.
Jin, you know, these mooks have been peeled off of you. This woman grabs the scroll, and poor foolish daughter who doesn't know martial arts goes running over and is taken down by this woman. What do you want to do?
Oh dear. Well, I'm very concerned for daughter, but more importantly, I know that scroll is important to daughter, and so making sure that was taken care of would probably impress her more than me trying to actually help her fight.
Okay.
So I think since we've got the crowd around me of the mooks, I think we see me do a little spin underneath one of their legs as I reach over to the table, and where they've got the kind of like placemats, but it's the bamboo mat. Grab one of them and sort of roll it up as I move past where she is and yell over, "Blossoms, help!" But as I'm doing it, I'm trying to shove that scroll out from underneath her arm and replace it with this rolled up placemat, hopefully without her noticing.
Interesting. I think that we are going to have you roll overcome.
Okay, and I think that's with fire. That's quickness.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that gets me to, that's 5, 6, 7.
7. So I think that you can swap that. But she's going to realize right away. Like we do that. See that switch on screen, and then she looks down and she sees it, and she looks and she sees that you have it, and she's clearly turned her rage and her attention onto you, and you feel that she's very dangerous.
I see probably get that close up on my face of me smiling, and then fear look.
Yeah, she does that thing where she throws that bamboo thing down in rage. 9 Blossoms, you saw poor Zephyr kind of sort of humiliate herself, but she came back strong. But then you see that woman do that, and daughter's on the ground, and Jin is about to be like murdered by this woman.
I think I want to get her to stop. I want to kind of like yell out, or maybe like run up and like sword to chin and just kind of say like what right do you have like disrupting this fine house or something like that.
So we're kind of in a combat situation, so I do think we're still maybe on duel here.
Okay.
Because I don't think she's necessarily susceptible to your words.
Okay.
So much as daughter moved up, kind of not realizing how strong she was, you move up to do that. So let's have you roll against this foe that is above your scale.
Okay. Ooh. I guess I didn't choose what.
Well, you always roll your style element.
Always roll style. Yeah. Okay. So I got a 5.
Got a 5. So you're going to mark either your style element or wounded.
Okay. Well, I do have those 2 wounded.
Oh yeah. So you can mark the first of those boxes.
Yeah. I think. I think I'm going to do that.
So that's sort of the consequence, but it's even more with that fail, and you get to mark experience. That's the good news. But when she hits you with that second shot, you feel your arm go numb, like it freezes, and you can actually it's almost like see the cold go up your blade, and your arm kind of goes slack there. and you're like, oh, this person is very dangerous. This is not someone to be trifled with. So let's see if someone else will trifle with her. Let's come to Zephyr.
Trifling, you say?
Yes.
So, yeah, I think the trifler. I run up into the middle of it, and
Okay.
daughter is like panting mist and sort of falling down pale, and everyone's not really looking too good right now. But I just come, okay, so I come up and I'm dripping. I sort of look like one of her bandits, but I think that's ruined now with all of the everything. I don't have my staff with me, and just sort of smiling and in like okay, fair cop, you got me. This is not going well. I come up to the table, sort of between her and Jin, and pick up a tray that has 2 teacups and pick up one for myself and just sip it and offer the other one to her and say, okay, fine. It's, this is obviously not a meal we're willing to pay for. You just take it on the house and go. Just like a little explanation so that when we tell people how majestically we were defeated, we can offer a name and a purpose behind it.
Interesting. Okay, and as a trickster, you always have leverage to do this, even though it's absurd. You kind of grab her attention. So, what is it that you want to roll with for this?
Oh, let's see.
Risk.
I think this is Earth. This is caution and presence. It's not my best foot, but let's see how it goes.
Fair enough. Let's have you roll.
Yep, that's a 5.
That is a 5. So the good news is
away.
You get to mark experience there, and she will look at you and she will say, "The 100 ghosts have nothing to do with this." And you need to mark the chi that you rolled with as she kind of shouts that out in front of everyone here.
Oh, damn.
And kind of looks haughty, like yes, she gave you some attention, but you're not even worthy of her time.
And yeah, I'd been like standing there coolly sipping my tea, and it just comes spluttering back out.
Okay. Or the teacup, of course, breaks when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Let's come back to daughter. You've been injured. You fought her. You've realized that just taking her on one-on-one is not going to do it. Something has to be done here.
Can I real quick, just so I can activate one of my moves, look over at daughter and say, I think we should go. I think it's time to leave. As I've got the scroll and I'm attempting to give some advice that I think's pretty wise.
All right. So if they ignore it, you can get the +1 ongoing. Daughter, what do you think?
So let's hear. So Jin has the
Jin has the scroll, but this woman is still here and still a viable foe.
Oh, but what does it look like is going to happen to Zephyr? Because that's really what I'm going to care about.
Zephyr has just kind of staggered back like someone has slapped her across the face. It's not a physical blow, but certainly that revelation has cut her to the core.
Does it? Oh man. I think I agree with Jin, but I'm gonna try and grab Zephyr to like drag her with us.
Okay, it seems
to
fair.
run.
Zephyr, are you fighting that?
No.
Okay. All right.
Especially if it's dragging me away from Nine Blossoms.
So you will grab Zephyr, and you can, still kind of limping from the wound, make your way for the door, which brings us back to you, Jin, who are facing this woman alone. Turn her attention back to you, and she will say, "Did you imagine that there was escape?"
I had hoped. And as she's saying that, they're staggering towards the door, right?
Yes.
They're heading over there. So I think with her looking at me, I'm going to kind of roll kind of to the side and try to do a jump slide to get by her. But as I'm doing so, I'm going to go ahead and toss that scroll over towards them.
Okay.
Because even worse comes to worse, she'll probably go for it rather than cut my head off.
All right. Let's have you roll overcome then, I think.
Okay.
What do you want to roll with?
I hate to keep going back to it, but fire speed still seems like
it's a situation that is worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
Eventually we'll hit it and you'll have it marked and you won't be able to roll with it anymore.
Yeah, then I'll be screwed. Well, I made it to 7 again.
Made it to 7. So I do think you will slide and you will throw that over to them, such that they can catch it. But I do think she hits you. And I do think you are going to have to mark that fire, or wounded.
I can't fight without fire. I can't use fire at all when it's marked.
That is correct.
-2 ongoing. Eek. I think I'm going to take the wounded because it looks better on the screen.
Okay. So what happens? What do we see she do to you?
I think that as I'm doing that roll to get by her, and as I toss out the scroll, she does one of those pinpoint joint hits right on my elbow, and you can hear the crack. It's got that very martial arts crack sound, and
And we see you kind of stagger up, holding your arm, moving for the door. Nine Blossoms, those three are making their way to the exit. You're sort of still stunned by this hit. What do you want to do?
Oh, Tao's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's I still want to try to make sure that like nothing more happens to Jin.
Okay. And how you do it? You can't beat this woman.
No, that's true. I don't have any.
One-on-one, you know that she will defeat you. And your allies are leaving.
I think I got to get Jin out of here then.
Okay.
I think I gotta grab her and go.
Okay. So essentially, you're moving to kind of push the group out and maybe get out more quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have you roll overcome.
All right. What
do you want to roll with?
Yeah, what do I want to roll with? I think it's probably water, like the awareness that, like, the thing that you're saying, like, I know that I cannot defeat her on my own, so we all got to get out of here.
Okay.
I think that's water. And I have a -1 in water. Fantastic.
You roll.
Oh, great. I got an 8.
Got an 8. Excellent. So you will rush past in an effort to get by. You are going to have to mark your water.
Okay.
Essentially, as she sees you going, and she draws, and you see her in her hand appear some needles, and she will throw them at you, and they'll catch you in the shoulder blade as you stumble out. And we cut to the outside. You know, we were inside on one set, and now we're outside. We're clearly outdoors. The sun, the whole light has changed, and the four of you kind of stagger out together, and you can, wounded, run towards town, and she leaps out into the street and sees you and realizes that you can't take on all four of you, and she does this, and she looks back in, and you see the big guy who got knocked down. He's holding his, and she looks disgruntled, and we'll cut that scene there. Let's take our second break so I can get myself something to eat. And then we will continue on in town, probably at the Purity Sword Sect estate then.
What time we come back?
Let's take say 12:20, just so I get time to make a sandwich. Okay, I'll be back.
We did not do well.
Nope, not at all.
That was a bad set of rolls there.
It's an interesting situation I find with PbtA games in that, especially on the GM side, it can get kind of difficult and uncomfortable when like rolls just keep on going horribly. The first thing that I ran for the Gauntlet was the Watch, and it was 3 sessions. I could count on one hand the number of not failed rolls. It was just everything just kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it was just like, how do I keep doing this without just like just ending everything now?
Yeah, the death spiral can be quite bad. So we are going to take up with the 4 of you having gathered. The scroll has been delivered into the hands of the proper leadership of the Purity Sword sect. You will hear news that other of the Ox Pilgrim messengers have not arrived. That some of them were attacked as well.
Did we take time to glance at what was on the scroll by chance?
Well, do you want to flash back to that?
Yeah, I think I would like to know what this is all about.
I will say though that I feel like I have. I would probably try to prevent you from doing so.
Well, but I mean, the seal already got broken. We saw it on rolls, so it's not like we're doing anything bad if it just accidentally falls open. And who can help where their eyes go at a moment like that?
Yes, but that didn't happen, did it?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Right. That would be ridiculous because that didn't happen as I just like jostle Jin and try and knock it out of her hand so it unrolls.
So I think this is a question of Jin. You are trying to do something that is against the wishes of your friend. Put that in quotation marks. Daughter. So this is a PC versus PC duel. So here's how that works. You get to say what you will give to Shane if he lets you win. You can offer experience, you can burn bonds, you can change an entanglement, you can offer any of those things, or if you have something else you want to offer. If you make an offer, you have to follow through on it, and you put one offer out there and Shane says yes or no. If he says yes, then he gets to mark experience and you get what you want. If he says no, you both mark chi and he gets what he wants.
I think I'm going to offer, let's see here. I think that since, I made this suggestion and Zephyr has sort of agreed with the same thing, I'm going to offer that I'm not going to interfere with her pursuit of Zephyr.
Whoa. Wow.
Just to get a glance at this. What do you think?
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Okay, so you get to mark XP, and Jin, I assume it's probably a little bit of the guilt when you do drop it and get to look at it. Let's, since I don't want to make a rule on this, let's do this like a study move. You can ask a question, or you can declare something. I'll give you one hold for that. Do you want to ask what's on it, or do you want to say what's on it?
I want to say what's on it.
What's on it? Do you see it and no one else does, and then you want to hold it to reveal it later, or do you want to say what it is now?
I I can't imagine Zephyr not looking over my shoulder, so
Okay.
I suppose would say it now.
Sure.
And
is it the instructions, or is it something else?
Oh Lord, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think it has to do with how to open it, but it in particular talks about that only purity sword sect has that ability to do it.
Okay.
That only their devotions, what they've learned, at least according to them.
According to them,
but were.
Yeah, you essentially have the steps for opening it, but it does say only the pure, the pure of the purity sword sect can actually do that. So we come back in the room with the four of you at the purity sword sect. That sort of revelation that has been. But did anyone tell anyone that it was open, that it was seen, or was that kind of kept hush hush, you think? I think, daughter, I think you're the one who has to kind of make that choice.
I mean, I certainly would probably try to hide it as much as possible.
Okay. So you've turned it over. They are more relieved that you actually arrived, because others did not.
Right.
So they've turned that over. And so it is the four of you gathered, kind of nursing your wounds here together. Even as you realize that, this powerful figure attacked, that, there's a tournament coming up, but the secret to opening the box as well. Let's come in and this is your clan, then Jin. Let's start with you here.
I think we've, because they're happy that daughters brought it here, we've gotten a little bit of honor. They respect the fact we made it. It is my clan. So we've got a kind of private room, and they've brought in some things for us to clean up, and maybe even some ointment. So I think we opened with the scene of Jin there behind Blossoms and leaning in, going, "Don't move," as I pull out one of the needles, and this may hurt. As I'm trying to hopefully do the comfort support move.
Okay, well let's have you roll.
Okay, and I think this is probably with wood.
Okay.
All right. Ugh. That's 5.
Okay. So she will get to.
Well, let me go ahead. I hate to hurt us even more.
Do you want to burn a bond?
I'm going to burn a bond with Nine Blossoms since we're doing this together. And since I'm the younger sibling, I'll get +2 instead of 1.
Okay. So a daughter will be able to clear a condition.
No, this is on Blossoms.
Oh, Blossoms. So clear chi or wounded state. So Zephyr, you've kind of been dragged into the middle of this situation. Maybe you wanted to pursue this a little more discreetly, but it has changed. So what's your reaction? What do we see you doing?
So I think our whole way here, daughter has sort of been supporting me, and I've been leaning on her. But we get here and she I think she sags or something she's wounded and bleeding, and I think this finally catches up to her. And so sort of similarly, I'd like to try and get her somewhere and be like, I need new clothes, obviously, and how much? Why didn't you say something? We need to get that wrapped up. And so take her up. Where was she injured?
Well, that's the thing, is that she wasn't. I mean, you can't really tell where she was injured per se. It's that
that's right.
She's been infected by this this coldness. That she's just she's probably very cold to the touch.
So yeah, I mean, we've obviously got to get you in like a steam room type situation.
All right.
A bath.
Yes, that won't be uncomfortable at all.
This will go fine.
That seems perfect. Why don't you make that comfort and support roll? In this fan servicey moment.
I guess we'll go with water. I was just looking through my limited array of stats I have left.
Yeah. On a 10 plus, you're going to be able to clear one yourself.
Yeah. So like wisdom and trying to understand this weird, unnatural ailment that seems to have hit her.
Sure.
Which is a grand 8.
Grand 8. So she may clear a chi or a wounded. You yourself are still a little more exhausted, but we see that. And
I already got my fill of steam for tonight, so more isn't really helping.
Right.
All the tea.
And daughter, what's your reaction? Being here in the bath, the steam room here with Zephyr.
Oh, I'm sure I am overjoyed, or trying not to show it as much, but now it's that definite she's doing something caring for me, so I feel like there's an interest there, and I think I'm probably starting to glow a little bit, I'm very happy about this,
okay.
Oh, this is more than I'm assuming so much more. Reading
Right.
so much more into it than is actually there, I bet.
You're flushed.
Yes.
With that. All right. Nine Blossoms.
Good. Your color seems to be coming back. That's nice.
Nine Blossoms. When you return, is it one of these you want to talk to? Do you want to go talk to somebody else? What do you want to do?
I have a couple. A couple things that sorry, my computer's going a little wonky. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I have a couple of thoughts. One, I forgot about one of my entanglements with Jin, to not let her forget about the humiliation, and now she's kind of debased herself more, saying that she won't interfere with the relationship, or with her pursuing Zephyr. So yeah, and I'm pretty unhappy with her that she got her arm broken, right?
Yeah.
But I'm still supposed to care for her. So maybe I'm setting the arm, but I'm still kind of I'm kind of scolding her for you're it's very unbecoming of you to behave this way, kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is an awkward, painful comfort and support. So
yeah.
What are you rolling with for your scolding healing?
Let's see. Maybe it's definitely not wood.
Okay.
Definitely not. Maybe let's say fire. Maybe it's just it's passion a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Then let's roll.
Okay.
Ow!
Stop complaining. It'll be over soon.
Yes, blossoms.
9.
A 9. She can clear a chi or a condition of the wounded. I think as you are finishing that up, I think it makes logical sense that the door would come open and you will see Tao there. And he looks and he is clearly upset with Jin for having put herself in danger. But also looks to you, Nine Blossoms, and your failure is right there in front of him. That you let his sister take this injury.
And I definitely will have run over to him and just thrown myself into his arms.
And are you playing up how much you're injured?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tao. Oh.
And he will look at you and he will say, Jin, may I have a few moments with my betrothed?
Of course. And I'll kiss him on the cheek. See you in a little bit, Blossoms. And get on out.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He turns to you. What happened?
I think I explained. I kind of like explained this this figure as like this like the figure that we fought. You said she had like white fur, blue robes,
yes,
kind of thing, and this very distinctive hair.
Yeah. Let's have you, as you try to explain this in the best light possible. This is going to be inner conflict.
Okay. And so for inner conflict, do I also choose what?
You can roll anything except for your style element.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess Earth.
Okay.
I'm trying to really like be careful with my words and kind of be in that, like try to more be in the moment of this conversation and like trying to respond to how Tao is reacting to what I'm saying.
Okay.
As I explain this. 10.
10. So you keep yourself together. You do.
Awesome.
Hold it together and explain to him, and he will say, all right, it sounds, as you say, this woman, I have heard of her. I believe she is a member of Holy Society. She's called Sister Frost. But that she is here, that gives me great pause that she would be sent after these instructions, this missive.
Yes,
Tell me. Oh, go on.
I'm very worried about it as well. She has great skill, and we like, yeah. Sorry.
Well, and he says, did you notice anything out of the ordinary with any kind of pauses to think how exactly he wants to phrase this with daughter of stone and sorrows?
I do not know her very well. She seemed somewhat perturbed when she entered the was that the restaurant that we were in?
A tavern inn.
A tavern, yeah. She seemed quite perturbed when she entered the tavern, a little unsteady.
My master has warned me that though the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau presents themselves as righteous, they are in fact villainous, and I fear that perhaps even what happened at the inn was an attempt to assassinate one of you. That the daughter may have been involved in that.
If that was the case, if that is the case, then perhaps this this cloaked woman may in fact be of help.
Interesting. Well, I want you to stay close to Daughter of Stone and Sorrows, and should she act against the interests of the Purity Sword sect, you know what to do.
I do.
And he will embrace you, kind of clearly forgiving you for what has happened to his sister, and setting you to kill his real sister. So that's how that works.
Awesome.
Jin, after this, is there anything that anybody you want to talk to? Anything you want to do? Do you want to frame people back together? Do you want to check in on things? What would you like?
I probably would be going to search out Zephyr and Daughter, just in the sense that we came here together. And see where they are. Not so much to cause a problem, but obviously we came together. I should make sure they feel hospitality here with my clan.
What do you think you feel when you go into the baths, and of course giant wooden tubs with water, and you see it's just the two of them sharing this bath?
I'm obviously, it makes me sad, but there's this sort of resignation, because I saw when she came in, Daughter had no eyes for me, and so it's this sort of are you both feeling better?
Oh yes, very much.
Yes, Daughter seems much warmer now.
Good. If there's anything I could do to help you, if you need food or anything, the Swords would be happy to give you whatever you could need.
Well, I mean, some food would be nice, and maybe an outfit that didn't smell quite so much like freshly brewed tea.
Well, whenever you're ready, I'll be waiting outside.
Sort of a play note, you would have already changed that entanglement, so you don't have to roll inner conflict. And we would figure out how you would reword that. So normally, if you hadn't made that change, this would have been a gut wrenching scene for you. But you've steeled yourself for this decision that you've made in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now let me ask Zephyr, what, you're in the house of the Purity Sword sect. You've been sent here under somewhat false pretenses, at least, or sent here to carry things out 400 ghosts. So what's your thought right now? What are your plans?
So yeah, we're they're sort of in the bath, and Jin is leaving, and the door clicks behind her, and just instantly Zephyr goes from like lounging in the tub to like sitting up and staring at Daughter intensely and saying, "All right, before she gets back with those, we need to go break into the Purity Swords archives."
What? Why?
Well, we need to know what's going on here, and obviously they're not going to tell us. It's the whole thing with the puzzle box and everything. Why do you think they would open up to us? We need to find out so that we can get ahead of the weird, scary frost woman. Daughter, I can't do this alone. I need you. I need your help.
think. I think I probably need to roll inner conflict here.
Okay. I think that's kind of pulling you in two directions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let me. And let's see here. I think this is. Yeah, I think I'm trying. Yeah, I think I'm definitely trying to keep things like kind of under control, which is going to be metal, which is my worst. So that's great.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And reroll. No, very, 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 very bad. I got a 2.
Then I think that you're going to have to mark metal.
Okay.
That you rolled with, and I think that you're just hanging on Zephyr's every word, ready to follow her absolutely, unquestioningly to the end with this.
Sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, that's exactly what we need to do. Do you know where we're going?
Well, I know generally where the archives are. We just need to pick up a couple of items of clothing along the way. It won't be any problem. Might need to redo your hair a little bit. Just stay quiet, eyes down. It'll be great.
Okay. Okay. I trust you.
And you can tell she does. Trust you absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. And I'll like lean in and sort of give you a hug real quick before we go out. Like, okay, we're doing this.
Let me ask you something, Zephyr. In the entanglement that as it's written, we know that you rejected her before. Do you think that was a conscious rejection, or just she felt like you rejected her? And if it was a conscious rejection, are you aware that you are using her heart against her?
I don't think it was a conscious rejection.
Okay. That saves you some moral quandary. Okay.
Just a little bit, though.
So we'll cut on that scene with the two of you. Of course, it cuts just as you're about to come out of the tub. You know, it cuts right there. We know that you are heading out because the movie's rated PG-13. So we don't see any of that. Jin, you've headed off to go and get these clothing and things like that. So what do you think that you would do next, having heard these words from Tao, Nine Blossoms? What's your next step?
Good question. So, I think the kind of his Tao's. I'm going to put Tao's reservations about daughter aside for a second. I think I want to seek out Zephyr.
Okay.
Fox. But I don't know, if they're I don't know if I'll be able to find her is the thing.
Well, that is a study.
Okay. And I can choose any.
You choose any of your non-marked stats.
Okay, cool.
Only fire is marked for you right now. Oh, and earth. Oh no, that's Zephyr I'm looking at. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, I only have.
You just have water marked. You're good.
Yeah, yeah. I think. How well do I know Zephyr? I think I want to roll with metal.
Okay.
I think with the reflection is kind of jumping out at me as a thing.
Sure.
I think I want to kind of I kind of know her kind of trickstery nature. So I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay, go ahead and roll with metal.
Okay. 8. Or sorry, yeah, 8.
8. So you get 1 hold. You can ask a question, or you can declare a fact. Like you could declare that where you find them, or something like that. Or you could ask a question.
Okay, so I think my question is what are they doing in the library?
So
or what are they looking for in particular?
So then I think the scene is, and you now sort of hand waved the getting the clothing and the breaking in wonderfully for Zephyr and daughter, and they have made their way into the inner sort of archive chambers of the clan of the Purity Sword Sect. And when you kind of look in and we see you kind of peer in, and it looks to you like they are preparing to open essentially the lockbox. You know, has one of those big old style Chinese locks on it that contains the puzzle box. It looks to you like the two of them are about to steal the puzzle box, or at least get in and look at the contents.
Okay.
This is tough for you.
Yeah.
Because that's Zephyr.
I mean, I guess I'll confront them about it.
Okay.
So I kind of I think I just enter the room and kind of like maybe they did, or yeah, maybe the door kind of creaks and they turn and they see me, and I just say, Zephyr, what is it you are intending to do?
Oh, you've made your. I mean, this was an easy job. They're all distracted elsewhere, waiting for the messengers and getting ready for the tournament. So you were able to find the proper clothing. You're able to come in. Daughter hung on your every word, Zephyr. This job has been easy. Your engagement roll was a 6. You know, you're here and you're just about at that last stage with that lock when in comes Nine Blossoms. Speaks those words to you.
And yeah, I just like stand bolt upright, shocked, and turn. And Nine Blossoms, we were here. We're just, that woman, she's obviously not going to stop. We're here looking for what she's coming after. If we know what this is about, then we can stand in her way easier. We can protect the puzzle box and whatever's in it, and the Purity Sword.
Muted.
You're muted.
Oh, I say, just like as you're saying, I kind of interrupt. I say, Zephyr, where is he? Where is your master? He's told you to do this.
No, I haven't. Not for. We're here to help stop this attack.
So it seems to me that there's kind of a hearts and minds thing maybe going on here. And it can. Do you think it's coming from the direction of Zephyr, or do you think it's coming from the direction of Nine Blossoms for trying to persuade?
I think Nine Blossoms definitely has the stronger footing here.
Okay, so Nine Blossoms, yeah, and you call out. I mean, and she knows who you're talking about. Her master, the deadly and enigmatic Sour Sadness Bear.
Great name. Excellent.
And so, what do you want to roll for your hearts and minds?
I think it's fire. I think it's a passion thing. I think I mean, yeah, like I think it's exactly the entanglement. Like I kind of assume that these bad things, like these like chaotic or destructive things that Zephyr are doing are are directly from her master. Like he's kind of the source of these terrible things that she's doing.
Let's have you roll.
Okay.
And then we're going to see how Zephyr reacts to that. Then I want to check in with Jin, and then I want to swing back to Daughter.
I got an 11.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay, so we look at this and we ignore the top part. We go just down to the bottom. And it says, for PCs on a hit, they may mark XP if they do as you ask. If they don't, they have to mark a chi. What is it that you're asking Zephyr to do precisely?
I think I'm asking her to tell me the location of her master.
Okay.
Like their meeting place or something, like as much as she knows.
Zephyr.
Yeah, I there's just this like long sort of struggling pause from her. And she says, he didn't, it's not like that. He didn't send me here. He didn't send me to do any of this. I'm doing this of my own free will. He just set up a meeting at that inn for 2 days from now, and I was just making sure that it was clear of any sort of, and like you can see this crumbling realization of, oh wait, I've been sent here. Oh no. No, it's not what you think. It's totally what you think.
So let me ask you a question. Is that you marking chi because you're not giving her the present location of Sour Sadness Bear? Or are you going to give her a clue as to where he might be in this?
Yeah, I think I genuinely don't know where he is right now. I know he's supposed to be at that inn in 2 days.
So I think you have to mark a chi. What are you going to mark?
Well, I was going to say if we had to roll or do a scene to get in here and study, it was going to be my patience and curiosity that's helping me look through this archive, so I think it's wood.
Okay. Oh, and you can burn a bond to avoid that loss. Thank you, Shane.
Oh, so I'm sort of curious about what is like, fictionally speaking, what does burning a bond mean in this situation?
It's basically the bonds are about your emotional investment. Like this is something that you have a connection. Like if you burn your bond with Nine Blossoms, you feel like maybe you need to rebuild that relationship. You need to reconnect that you've used up that trust. Or if you burn the bond with 100 ghosts, you know that doing this is kind of betrayed them, or maybe you're thinking having second thoughts about them.
I sort of like burning the bond with Nine
Okay.
Blossoms more. I think this is really, yeah.
Perfect. So I want to cut away from that. I want to check in with Jin and then come back and see how Daughter reacts to all of these revelations. Jin, you return with food and clothing back to the baths, and they're gone.
And there's that look, that suspicious look on my face as I sort of thump, set the tray down. And I think I'm going to try and find Unsmiling Lou. It would make sense he would be here, I think.
Absolutely. I think that is not a problem. You can track down Lou easily. And he's, a shaven head, large person. We see him in his chambers. We see him looking over his sinister plans, and then you knock on the door, and he closes them up and puts them off to the side.
Sinister seems harsh.
Yes, and his manner changes from this sort of to, oh, please, come in, Jin. Are you all right? I understood that you were injured in some sort of attack that happened.
Yes, Master, and Master, I may have made a mistake.
Come sit. Tell me everything.
Master, there was a scroll, and it was being transported by daughters, and it got broken open in the fight, and it wasn't like I didn't break the seal or anything, but I was really curious, and I wanted to, and I took a look, and it told me some things, but
what did it tell you? He leans in more intently. What did it say?
It talked about how to open the puzzle box, Master, and it said only one of PbtA's sword would have the technique to do it. And this is the mistake, Master.
Yes.
I think Zephyr Fox was reading it over my shoulder.
Tell me what was on the scroll so I know precisely how to deal with this.
I'll recite it back to him as perfectly as I can remember.
Thank you. He says, well, then I am certain that Zephyr will be making her way there. Where is Daughter of Stone and Sorrow?
They were together when I saw them last.
I did not want to tell you this. I did not want to say this, but I know your feelings, your strong feelings, but I believe that all of this is the machinations of the Ox Pilgrim Escort Bureau, with Daughter as their agent, and it is she that may be manipulating Zephyr and not the other way around.
Master, I can't... I wouldn't doubt you, but I find that very difficult to believe.
The evidence, you will find it. We must go to the vaults now. If they are not there, then I am wrong.
Very well, Master, of course.
And he will gather himself up. But we must be quiet about this. We do not want to cause too much excitement or draw others into this web.
No, of course not, Master.
Just you and I.
And I will...
he will take you, and you will head off towards the vaults.
Hurry, Blossom, hurry.
Daughter, you hear this conversation go on between Nine Blossoms and Zephyr, and Nine Blossoms kind of crushes Zephyr's spirit a little. What's your reaction here?
I'm feeling torn in that my love for Zephyr is there, but also just like, I don't know, there's this little bit of me that is kind of my estimation of Zephyr has gone down, just like how she crumbled just so like quickly and easily. Yes. I don't know. Oh man. And especially like now I'm kind of wondering, was I being used? And like, did Zephyr know this? Like, that I was going to have the scroll? That like, how much of this was planned?
She was there at the inn before you even arrived.
Oh my God. I think I turned to Zephyr and I was like, how? You knew I was going to be there. That's why you were waiting for me. You knew I'd have the scroll.
No, I was just, I didn't know any of this was going to happen. I just was having tea and making sure the place was safe. I like, totally unbelievable.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I was that you would play with my emotions like you did. I can't believe that you would do such a thing. And I think she just kind of like turns and just kind of walks out of the library or out of the vault area or whatever it is.
And you will go to move to go past Nine Blossoms to leave when the doorway fills, and you will see unsmiling Lou and Jin there, and Lou says, "See, I told you."
Oh, daughters. Oh.
What's the matter, Jin?
I trusted you.
This isn't me. This is Zephyr. Zephyr is the one. Zephyr's been playing all of us. We've been all played for fools by Zephyr.
Fine excuses. Jin, Nine Blossoms, arrest these curs.
I'll look over at Nine Blossoms.
Nine Blossoms.
Let's
start with you.
What do I believe? What do I believe?
Sounds like that daughter person's a really bad influence.
Yeah, totally right. I think I tell Jin to arrest daughter, and I walk up to Zephyr, and I arrest her. Like we both lead them away, I guess.
Well, we're going to try.
Yeah.
So
try there.
Nine Blossoms steps up to you, Zephyr, clearly with the intent. This man that you love comes up and he is going to arrest you. So let's start with the inner conflict. And then let's figure out what else happens.
I think this is definitely with water. This is flexibility and changing with the situation.
You've got some bonds, so...
And eventually this page will load. There we go. Okay. You and you. Come on! It's a 6. I will
have bonds.
Yes, I will burn my bond with the 100 ghosts, as this is not going to stay hidden from anyone at this point.
So you can mark a chi, or you can attempt to flee the scene. And by fleeing the scene, obviously admitting your guilt in all of this.
And I'm assuming like flee the scene, I wouldn't be able to take anything with me or like gain anything from this situation.
No, not with that. Otherwise, we're going to roll into a PC versus PC duel there.
I guess I'm gonna mark a chi.
Okay. So mark your flexibility. Or wounded. I mean, and that's heart sick at that point.
Yeah, it's gotta be wounded, because if I was just gonna run, then I would have taken the other option.
Okay, so this let's look at this PC versus PC duel. We'll do this, and then I want to move over to Daughter and Jin. So you want to arrest Zephyr Fox, Nine Blossoms, who you also love. And maybe I think we're going to roll into your inner conflict now.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to the PC versus PC duel. I mean, this woman that you love, that you trust.
Yeah.
What do you want to roll with?
I think this feels really patronizing, I guess. I think I want to roll with Wood. I think I'm trying to be patient with her, like
we'll figure this out. We can get through this. Okay. It's all good, babe. All right. Let's have you roll.
Boy. All right. I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10, so you keep it together. You like, okay, holding on to it. Now, this is a duel. Whether you're going to decide whether you win or she wins. What do you want to offer her to let you win? What do you want to offer Patrick to let you win? Change an entanglement, mark G. You've got an XP you could offer. You can offer as much or as little as you want. And then just one offer, and then Patrick decides. Let me have you consider that while I switch over to Jin and Daughter.
All right.
Jin, Blue has ordered you to arrest Daughter, and you have no problem with that, right? This is not a question of issues.
Daughter, I know this has to be a mistake. Just come with me. We'll get it all figured out. I know that this isn't you. And I'm reaching out just to take her hand. I have no weapon. I'm just reaching out. Just come with me. And I'm offering what I think is sage advice.
It is sage advice. So let's consider what Daughter's reaction is to this.
I think there's still that kind of that old lack of trust of Jin because of like all the interference with Zephyr, and I think she is not going to just kind of like trust Jin at her word. So I think she's probably going to try and just kind of like get out of this situation.
Okay. So I think this is less a hearts and minds. Now we're in a situation where it's actually like, I think this is going to roll into that PC versus PC duel.
Yeah.
And I think you want to arrest her, Jin. You're sort of the acting force in this. She's reactive. So what we're again in this situation. What do you want to offer to Daughter of Stone and Sorrows for her to submit, to let you win this conflict?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't have a lot to offer.
I know.
Lola, suggestion, if you could.
Well, let's consider what her connections are to you here. You could offer to mark a chi to show the cost, that the toll that it's taking on you. If you had some XP, we could have offered that. But I think right now you've pretty much got chi or changing another entanglement. But I think we've already made that shift there.
I think that I'm going to
in a longer game, you probably would have more material to work with from that.
I think I'm offering my wood. You know, this is my patience, my belief in Daughter, that, you know, this is me standing there bearing my soul of, I believe that you were innocent. Please come with me.
So, Daughter, do you wish to accept that offer and mark an XP, or are you getting out of there?
I think I'm getting out of there.
Okay. So both of you have to mark a chi. Daughter, tell me how you are getting out.
Yeah. I think when she comes for me, I think I kind of smoothly step aside and kind of just pass her, and I feel like I make a very kind of like strident, like, I am leaving. This is what I am doing. And I don't know if Unsmiling Lou is going to try to do anything.
Oh no, he's less worried about you. His eyes are only for that safe right now.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'm just going to continue. I'm going to continue walking until someone stops me.
Okay, so you will get out of here and head out into the hallway, and you will see Tao out in the hallway.
Okay.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And there, for you, Jin, there is that moment where she does move, and she moves more skillfully than you think, and you kind of taken aback as she moves out of the room, and you know that her fleeing, her escape, absolutely proved to you that she is as bad as they say. You have no question of her guilt now. Let me cut back to our other conflicting pair. Nine Blossoms, what are you offering Zephyr?
I think I offer forgiveness for past transgressions, past crimes.
Oh.
Wow, Zephyr.
Oh, that's really good. So like, she sees this in your eyes, like this chance, this opportunity, like, if I were to go with you, it would prove that all of this, like, it wasn't her fault, that you believed her, that there might be something in the future. And she like leans in and kisses you, like just directly there in front of everyone. while her hand reaches out to the side to grab the lockbox. And she's gonna run.
Oh! Yes. Amazing.
Okay.
Because she really doesn't deserve that forgiveness.
All right. So you both mark Chi. Okay.
You had me going there, Zephyr. You had me going there, Zephyr.
And you go to make for the lockbox, Zephyr, and Unsmiling Lou is there. And his hand will strike your hand. And you know, to get to that box, you're going to have to go through him. He's been waiting.
Much more willing to go through him than anyone else here.
Okay. So, when you fight a foe who is above your scale,
all right.
So now that is if you have another way around this, I won't pause before we go to that sort of dual thing. Let's consider this cinematically. You've kind of stepped away, revealed your hand a little bit in front of Nine Blossoms, who is trusting you, but Unsmiling Lou doesn't trust you. He knows what you're about, and he wants what's in that box.
I mean, I can't really think of another way.
Have any abilities that you think, any moves that would help with this?
Not really.
Okay. All right.
I have that have sword will travel. That's not really what this is.
Right. So I think you put yourself in a position where you're going to have to fight Unsmiling Lou. Or give up on your goal.
Well, I'm not doing that.
Okay. Then in that case, when you fight someone above your scale, you're going to lose. But on a hit, you get to tell us how you lose. Which can include getting away.
Is it possible to help? Like
Absolutely. That is a comfort and support action.
Okay.
Are you helping her?
I think I'm helping her. I think despite everything.
So we're going to have her roll first, and then we'll have you roll the comfort and support. And essentially, you create a bond that you burn right away for that +1. Is how that works.
Okay.
Oh, actually, wait. If you're helping her, yeah. Let me have you roll your comfort and support here first, because if you can do this well, you can give her scale to put him on her scale.
Yeah.
Because in one shots we kind of simplify the scale rules a little bit here.
Gotcha.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. So I think this is passion.
Okay.
I think this is fire. So. I think that's a 10.
It's a 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can give her scale. What is it that you do to give her an edge against this master of the house that you are marrying into?
I think so she reaches for the box and he smacks her hand away, right? And I kind of I know that she's trying to escape, and it's kind of like with I guess kind of accepting her decision and her fate. I just want to do one last thing to help her before she's gone forever.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to I'm gonna cut him. I think I'm gonna try to injure him. Yeah.
All right. Let's have then Patrick. You are now on scale.
Ooh, I like that a lot better.
You can fight someone of your own scale.
All right. That's a 5. +2 would be 7, but -2 for wounded is 5.
Oh, delicious here. So, Unsmiling Lou, you two come in at him, and he moves, and he strikes at you, and he sends both of you tumbling to the ground there, and essentially knocks you both down. Your blade goes scooting across the floor, and he is standing over you, and he goes, "You fools. You fools. You two will breathe your last this day." Jin?
Oh my. I think that I'm crying. I'm angry, and I feel betrayed, and I'm just tearing up, and I'm rushing out after daughter. And so as I come out the door and I see Tal there with her, Tal, you've got to stop her. Master Lou.
He says, "Don't worry, I will." And he has his blade out.
So as far as I can tell, I don't know this person, right? I mean,
you probably know enough of these people. You probably know that this is Nine Blossom's fiance. You probably know that it is the brother, as far as you know, of Jin. But you probably haven't met them, though they look very familiar to you.
This is none of your concern. This is not. Please let me past.
His blade comes up. He is not going to let you by without a fight.
Boy. No, I guess. So, question: they do? Yeah, I guess they know who I am. So I couldn't use his name's nobody or whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately, because though I think because he doesn't expect you to be a warrior.
Oh yeah, I also have the +1.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right.
He is on your scale.
Awesome. All right, so let's do this thing.
Okay. Let's have you roll.
All right. And if I'm going to burn a thing, can I do that post roll, or do I need to do it
after roll?
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So see how this goes. Okay. So that's 7 right now. I think that's all I can swing.
Do you want to win at a cost? I'll tell you the cost when you're done.
Yes, I will win at a cost.
How is it that you kill him?
Oh. You evil man. Oh man. Okay. I think it's definitely going to end up being like accidental.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's
maybe because he's not taking you seriously. He doesn't realize that you have some skills.
Yeah. I think there's that, and I think it's a lot of swaying and moving and whatnot, and I think I end up kind of drawing him towards maybe some kind of like stairs or some sort of precipice that he doesn't like notice or something along those lines. And I think he just ends up kind of, I'm able to kind of like smack the sword out of his hand, and then it goes flying and kind of like wedges someplace. And I think he ends up kind of like tripping or something, and then just like
he's falling backwards. Even as he's moving in this last moment, as you hit him, he does this maneuver, this style that eerily echoes the way that you fight, though that sort of instinctual, untrained style that you know. And it's the first person you've ever seen do the same thing that you do. But then as you kind of reach out, he falls down those stairs and will crash down to the landing, neck askew. Let me cut back to the room with the safe now. Unsmiling Lou is moving towards you. He is clearly going to kill both of you right now. Zephyr, I think you have a little bit of the edge here in terms of deciding what you want to do. You could run. Or you could stay. If you run, you're going to be leaving behind 9 Blossoms. If you stay, this may be the end of you.
I mean, I'm not going to be responsible for him dying too.
So what do you want to do?
I'm gonna try and convince him that if he lets 9 Blossoms go, then being able to publicly take and imprison, kill, whatever a member of the 100 Ghosts would raise his position considerably.
All right, and you've got the trickster. This is your thing. So even as he's going in to kill you, you're like, no. Let's see it.
This is water again. It's a 6.
Do you have any bonds left to burn?
Of course I don't.
Set
those on fire long ago.
Let me check with before I resolve this move. Let me check with you, 9 Blossoms.
Oh man.
I hear you hesitating. So here's what happens.
Oh no.
You start to talk. You start to say, Zephyr, and he goes, enough talk. And he puts his blade through your chest.
Oh, I scream no, and I'm gonna run him through too while he's kind of
okay
in place.
I think that the potential murdering of your love is enough to give you scale on him. Does that seem right?
Yeah. Oh,
then he is on your scale. This is the one chance you have. This may be it for you if you can't defeat him here.
All right, and so I have to roll with.
I have to roll with your style element.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. 12.
12. Tell me how you kill Unsmiling Lou.
I think it's a clean head chop. Like I think like he's like with the sword in her, like kind of tilted down.
Yeah,
and like
you can't quite get it out because it's buried so deep in her.
Yeah, and I swing upwards and I follow his arm up and
cuts across that neck.
Yeah,
and he'll fall back. He lets go of his blade, and there'll be that bit where he holds it, and there's a pause, and then the will come out there, and he will stagger back and collapse to the ground. I'm going to come back and find out whether Zephyr's alive or dead here in a moment. But first, I want to see what Jin's doing.
I think his towel has fallen. I've screamed no, and we have. It sounded like daughter was using this as a way to escape. Wasn't that what the?
It looks like daughter. I mean, maybe shocked at the top of that stairs there.
Curse you, daughter! I will have vengeance against you if it's the last thing I do. Damn you to all the hells. And I'm going to turn and stalk back into that room. And just like ignoring the carnage, I'm walking straight over to that box. And with the knowledge that I have, I'm going to try and open it.
Okay. Daughter, Tao is dead at the bottom of the landing. Jin has declared vengeance against you. Do you leave?
I think I go over to Tao's body. I pick up his sword. I like put it in my belt, and I just walk off.
Okay, take that up. His eyes is open. You kind of grab that, and you will move off. Tell me, Zephyr, did he kill you with that blow, or are you still alive?
I mean, I definitely think he killed me.
So tell me, what do you say to Nine Blossoms in this last moments, in your last breaths?
I just take his hand and I say, I didn't know. I didn't know what was going to come. I didn't know what would happen to your family. I could never have hurt you. I've always loved you.
And then she dies in your arms.
Yeah.
And you're kind of in that silence. We see you pull open that puzzle box. Tell me, is there something in there?
Yeah, I do think there's something in there.
All right.
I think as it opens, we see this very wave set dagger, and I mean it just screams evil. I mean, it's black blade, red gem on the pommel. As Jin reaches down and grabs it, looks over at Blossom and just pays no attention to Zephyr there, and you could see like no emotion on Jin's face. The tears streaked still there. Blossoms, we have someone to kill.
All right, and I think that is our end moment for this whole thing. Holy cow! Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Normally I would do epilogues, but I think we just kind of did epilogues.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
Wow!
Well, I don't know exactly how one as a GM develops a sense for when a player really wants to be stabbed through the chest, but you have a perfect one. That's what I was going to make happen if I could.
Oh my gosh.
If I may suggest a subtitle to this: in black gardens, no flowers grow.
Oh, nice. Oh my god.
Man.
That was really good. Boy,
That was amazing.
That was amazing. Amazing.
Wow.
Really amazing. Oh, that piece where you had me kill him. Oh, that's so good. So good. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So when's the Kickstarter?
we're gonna put this out next year. We are definitely going to. So
amazing.
Wow, that was good.
Oh my gosh.
That was. And I've run this as a one shot before, but I don't think I've ever had it so pulled together like that. You guys just did a great job.
Oh my gosh.
leaned into it.
Yeah, and the dice were a huge part of it too.
Oh.
Like I have not met a game I like failing in more than this game. But it was just sort of like at a certain point, especially in the end game here, I was like, "Oh, I am not telling the story I think I'm telling. I'm telling a different story." Okay, let's go with that.
That was so good, man. That was just so fantastic.
And the way we set up these entanglements that seemed like such a knot, and lo, you resolved it so beautifully. I mean, it was just gorgeous.
Jin's step-by-step shifting of that entanglement and her relationship with daughter was amazing.
Yeah,
so good. It's so great to see those have a chance to evolve those relationships in play, and that was super fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the broadcast. That was fucking awesome. Really good. Thank you guys so much for playing. I'm going to try and stuff my face before my next game. Wow. Holy cow. Thank you all so much. So much.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Thank you.